Alright, so I'm now going to show you a different variety of flour to work with and how you process these. So again, this is a bunch of flowers and they usually come in about 7 to 10, and today's is 10, okay? So these are cremone, so they do usually come in 10. So all I did right now is that I just pulled off the rubber band on the bottom. You can either cut it or you can just pull it off. What's cool about this is that there is a plastic around it, right? But the seam on the plastic is super, super thin. And so it's super easy to just pull apart. And I have a trash can literally right here. And if I'm like a cool student, I'm gonna care about making sure that my classroom or my teacher's classroom is clean, right? Because I don't wanna have to sweep. I don't wanna have to stay after class. I wanna spend bell to bell working with flowers because I like flowers. So if I have to do less sweeping, that's what's gonna make this class even better, right? So I'm gonna have the trash can right here, or a box or something that I'm gonna put all my trash in, so it's gonna be easy to put it in the trash or keep it in the trash. So this is a cremone. So it's of the mum family. So a chrysanthemum family, all right? So we'll talk about that when we get into flower ID, but how you process these, you can keep them on your table, like so. And you can notice that there's a little net on them. Look how cute. This is what you don't want to do. Oh, look at my pretty flower, okay? You want to keep the net on it. Don't worry, I'm just showing you as an example, because what can happen with these that have nets on them is that if one petal falls, then usually there's more that comes with it. Okay, and then sometimes they get so fragile that as they open up, look how pretty this is, that as they open up, more petals and more petals will fall apart. And that usually happens when they get soft and like older. And so you don't, on Saturday when the wedding is, or whenever whoever gets the final arrangement, you don't want this to be in their arrangement just falling apart. Okay, so we ultimately want to put it in the arrangement, then take the net off. Okay, again, the rule is just like the roses, you want to keep the first two flowers or first two leaves on the stem closest to the head of the flower. Keep those on the stem. The rest you want to just take them off. Okay. And then I'm going to cut at a 40-degree angle, an inch off the bottom. Hold on. I'm going to show you how I did that again. I'm just taking my two fingers like this, putting it on the stem, holding it firmly with my right hand, and my left hand is going straight down. Voila. So, get it? That is way faster than, right? You're just gonna find it, cut it, place it. Done. Okay. How about another one? Here's a rule of thumb for leatherleaf. Leatherleaf is a tropical fern, so it really likes moist places. So we're actually going to keep the plastic on it because it's going to stay nice and green and really full and lush until we use it and take it out, and we're going to keep it in there. If anything, I don't even put it in the cooler sometimes. I'm just going to place it to the side. Next, I call this Agnes, but it's actually A-G-O-N-I-S, Agnes. They always know what I'm talking about. It's all about pronunciation in the floral industry, but sometimes I don't do it right. I love this. It's like a part of the willow family, and it's like a red burgundy, and her colors are white, burgundy, and like a blush or like a cinnamon pink. And so this is going to be a really good filler and greenery. But because it's a greenery, it's still going to be in a bunch. And every teacher does it differently. But because these are already pretty good and they're a woody stem, I'm going to just place them in like that. Okay? They do need water, but a woody stem, they're pretty good. This is very fragile. This is called veronica. So beautiful. Okay? I love this. It's a type of line and filler flower. There is a rubber band on the bottom. You can just pull it off. But that's kind of the worst because if you couldn't tell, the rubber band, as I was pulling it off, like hit me in the hand. I don't really care at this point because I've done it so many times, but you might care, so you might want to just cut it off. There's 2 rubber bands on this one. Pulling it off. Remember the seam. Super, super fragile. Voila. And what's really easy about this, there's no thorns or leaves really that are going to get in the water. And so I'm just going to keep this bunch together and cut at a 40-degree angle, them all at the same time. Wow, this was so easy to process. So I don't know if you can see this, but I have more buckets over here. Okay, so I usually like to, whenever processing flowers, I usually like to keep all of my varieties in different buckets or split the bucket in half, depending on how many flowers I have. I also like my greenery by itself and like mass flowers by themselves, so like by the type of flower usually too. But the main rule when processing flowers is making sure that you have room temperature water or a little warmer. Nothing too hot though. If you have really hot boiling water, you're like gonna kill your flowers, okay? So don't do that. That you have a cooler accessible right next to you, which I do. That's my sliding cooler right there. You have a trash can right next to you, so it's easy to throw away your items. But most importantly, you want to make sure all the leaves at the base of your stem, like these guys, that they're gone before you put them in your bucket. And that's because you do not want extra leaves to go in the water, because it's going to rot your water faster, causing more bacteria, causing your precious flower that you spent a lot of money on to die quickly. And that's not what we want. Okay? Thank you for watching Mrs. McGuire's YouTube channel.